AITA for not paying for the wedding despite promising that I will. One of my sons, Kai, 21M, is gay. He is not officially out, but everyone knows he is gay. It's just so obvious. He also has a boyfriend that he claims is just a friend, but we know the truth. Last night all of the kids were visiting. We decided to order dinner and my daughter, 17, was responsible for ordering food for everyone. I guess she thought it would be funny to order burgers for everyone but order a hot dog for Kai. She told him that, "I figured you'd like this better," teasing him like siblings do. One of my other sons has a fiancée, Nora, 29. After my daughter said that to Kai, Nora made a face as if she was disgusted by the thought of my son being gay and told my daughter, "Don't joke about that, it's not funny." This hasn't been the first time that Nora has said something like this about Kai. She is a firm believer that Kai is straight. She is religious, so I don't think I need to explain how she feels about gay people. Here is why I might be an asshole. Years ago I promised my son, Nora's fiancé, that I will pay for their wedding, but I don't want to do it. I have a gay son and I don't want someone who is against it to be a part of our family, so I told them that I have changed my mind and won't be paying. As a matter of fact, if she ever says something that slightly offends Kai, I won't even attend their wedding. They think I'm an asshole and I'm overreacting. Info. Do you know for sure she meant that as a "don't joke about it because I don't even like the idea of gay people"? Quote, "Because I could also just see her thinking the joke is in poor taste because he isn't out yet, and maybe she finds it rude to keep pushing him about it. I guess." Do you have other examples of her being homophobic? Or is she just taking Kai at face value when he says he's straight to respect his boundaries? Edit based on comments. Your NTA for not wanting to pay for their wedding. As it does seem based on your comments that she actually is homophobic. I will say, I'm not a huge fan of how your family is handling the Kai situation. You should definitely make sure he knows you love him no matter what. But it does seem like he just doesn't want to discuss his sexuality with any of you. I think you all need to back off a bit and stop making jokes about what you think his sexuality is. As it seems he's really not interested in having that be discussed. Edited to add my judgment. It's a qualified NTA. You have the prerogative to pay or not to pay for whatever you'd like. So, strictly for not paying, and learning background about Nora through your comments, it does seem that she was being a homophobe, and you decided you'd had enough. The qualification comes from my honest bafflement about how it got to this point. But you say in a comment that Kai is thrilled that you're not paying for the wedding. So I suppose my bewilderment doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Kai feels supported, and an avowed homophobe is facing some consequences. Unfortunately, it seems like she isn't going anywhere. Info. You mentioned that you promised, years ago, that you'd pay for their wedding. Edited. Did you make this promise to your son before he was with Nora? Or once they were together? If you did once he was with Nora, when did Nora begin displaying her homophobia? Is this a relatively new thing? E.g., in the last 2 months she converted to a very socially conservative religion. Or she went down a bad Reddit hole. Or has she always held those beliefs and displayed homophobic behavior all along? If it's the former, then I can see why you'd react strongly. Suddenly she's treating your son badly after accepting him for at least 2 years. If it's the latter, what about this specific situation was the catalyst for your reaction? Has no one said anything to her before this? If everyone knows she's homophobic, why has her behavior gone on this long? How does her fiancé, your son, feel about how she treats his brother? Does he go along with it? Does he call her out? I'm gay. And the way that Nora phrased it just by reading the post did not immediately strike me as homophobic. You could easily say the exact same thing and mean it as, I don't want to joke about gay people. Because joking about it is wrong, but then again, I wasn't there and don't know how exactly Nora said it, tone, etc. So IDK. Edit. NTA. After reading other comments about Nora. Did Kai find you pulling out from funding the wedding as an overreaction? Info. As a matter of fact, if she ever says something that slightly offends Kai, I won't even attend their wedding. So has she ever actually said something homophobic to or about Kai? Nothing to slightly offend him? Because if not, that means you're just assuming that she's homophobic because she's religious. So you don't need to explain how she feels about gay people, but you don't seem to be able to point to an actual example of her being homophobic or indicating that she's opposed to same-sex relationships. Because frankly, the whole "we all know he's gay" thing is pretty tired. Maybe he is, and he doesn't want to come out to you guys. But maybe he isn't, and either way, he is probably sick of you all bullying him about it. Because that's what it is. Bullying. His sister messed up his dinner order intentionally, which is a rude thing to do on its own. To make a joke about him giving blowjobs. BTW. I'm a bi woman, and when I started dating guys, literally no one ever made a joke about how I must be a hot dog connoisseur, so consider why someone would think it's acceptable to say to an allegedly gay man. Maybe you've got the right read on things, and Nora's a bigot and your son is in the closet. But have you considered the fact that Nora's the only person who's saying that it's not okay for you guys to tease Kai about his sexuality? And that it might be because she's the only person who's respecting that he hasn't come out to you, indicating that he doesn't want it to be a topic of family conversation? I'm leaving my judgment at info right now, because maybe you're going to come in and tell me that she's gone on long tirades about how gay people will burn in hell or whatever in the past. But honestly, even putting aside the Nora of it all, treating your daughter's unkind actions as simple teasing, and not telling her to knock it off, checking to make sure Kai is okay, still is leaning into territory. I also would have said, knock off the gay jokes, to the sister buying the hot dog, and make her eat the wiener as she bought it. Are you sure she doesn't like gay people? She may have just not likes the joke. I don't really like the joke either, tbh. Maybe, don't joke about that, it's not funny, was not meant as homophobic. Maybe she was saying it's not funny to poke fun at people for being gay? Could she have been standing up for him? To me, this sounds like your daughter made a homophobic jab at your gay son, and Nora stepped up to say it wasn't cool. IDK. I just think it's rich that you're okay with bullying him for being gay but take a hard stand against homophobia. Homophobia is wrong and gross, but seems like you have a bit of a double standard at play. Except Kai. You for, it's just so obvious. Your 17-year-old daughter for, I figured you'd like this better. And Nora for being Nora. That wasn't a funny joke. Your daughter was being a bully. So for the sake of your argument, I will accept Kai is gay and hasn't come out. Do you sexualize him with joke and buy phallic food for him? Do you buy clams or things that look like vaginas to your straight sons? Do you make sexualized jokes about your straight son's sex life? If no, then yay, you're the asshole. No one wants their family openly sexualizing them like that. He might not be coming out because of these jokes if they are constant. I am gay, and when my family talked about my sex life, I ended that fast. Not once would I ask my aunt if her husband is giving her some good dick like my aunt wanted to joke about me getting good dick. I didn't feel comfortable talking like that with my family, and for a time I regretted coming out. YTA, why are you okay with your daughter acting that way? Disgusting comment and a grotty thing to do. That's bullying emo. If he even is gay and he is not ready to come out of the closet, it's probably because of the amount of teasing and bullying he will get from his siblings just joking around, as you see it. So it's nasty and poor taste to act like your daughter did and you just brushed it off as a joke. Esh. You've decided your son is gay even though he hasn't come out. Why? You apparently think your daughter's joke is appropriate sibling banter. It's not. You've assumed your future daughter-in-law is being homophobic. And maybe she is. But you aren't willing to actually talk about it. And now you're ready to boycott a wedding over something you've not even attempted to address? Does nobody in your family know how to have a direct conversation? Info. If you are so sure about Kai, why haven't you talked to him? He's 21. If he knows he's gay and hasn't told you all by now, there is a very good reason and you all need to reflect on that. I don't want to give a judgment because I feel like there's missing context. Fake. Who would go to such extremes without having a conversation first? You know the son with Nora will also be affected by this. You're not even certain what Nora meant and you haven't tried to talk to your son. NTA. If you absolutely sure that Nora is homophobic, she could also meant as in, don't throw gay joke on Kai cause he might not find it funny. But just for this one time, you need to take more into account before making the decision. She is religious, so she could really be homophobic. Maybe you could discreetly talk to your son and voice your concern about Nora disliking Kai for being gay. Just don't mention that you won't pay for the wedding yet until you're absolutely sure. There just isn't enough context to fairly judge this.
Fake.
Did you tell your homophobic daughter you are not going to pay or visit her wedding? 'Cause she can give Nora a run for her money in homophobia competition. YTA.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.